Belgium, and we're in Limburg, it's the province, and we're actually very close to the Dutch border. So nearby cities is Tongeren, which is the oldest city in Belgium, and Maastricht, which is one of the oldest cities in Holland. My parents were wine dealers, partially, so they bought wines all over the world and sold it mainly to restaurants. So I grew up with wine, but never expected, let's say in this area, to become a winemaker. Supposedly here, there used to be a Roman villa. So we're actually on these foundations of this Roman villa. My parents bought this castle in 1990, and they actually wanted to retire. And then we found out in the history of this property that it used to have about 25 hectares of vineyards. And since my parents were in the wine business and they were big wine lovers, let's say, my father had the idea, you know, if there was winemaking here at the castle, if there were vineyards in this area, then he thought maybe it's nice to plant a small vineyard again and make an own wine for hobby, let's say, and that's how the idea started. You can't dream of any better conditions for winemaking than what we have here, and the Romans already knew that. That's why the winemaking, they started it here in this area. So very soon already the decision was made not to keep it small, hobby, but to go for a minimum of 10 hectares. So I decided immediately to stop my studies economics and to go to France and learn winemaking. I studied enology, which was necessary because I was going to start in an area where there was no experience. So I couldn't ask my grandfather, I couldn't ask my neighbor. I really had to start from zero. So you have to kind of know what your options are and then find out for yourself what is best in this area, let's say. And we were actually the first one who had the idea of, you know, making it a little bit bigger and professional, and so everybody thought, you know, these people are crazy. Nobody was waiting for Belgian wine. So we thought if the product is good, it would sell itself, but it was not that easy. So what I did is I went to the top restaurants in Belgium. And top restaurant or the restaurant owner himself or his sommelier have a good wine knowledge. Otherwise, they couldn't be a top restaurant. They were very surprised about the quality. And they were also very happy to have something new to present to their clients. Because if you want to be at the top, you always have to be a step ahead. And I got the top restaurants in Belgium as our clients. And from there onwards, I never had to go out again and sell in my life. Chardonnay and Pinot Noir are the ideal grape varieties in combination with the northern, the cool climate we have. I was in first moment not so happy because I thought Chardonnay, you know, the whole world already is planting and making Chardonnay, and you know, we're going to make another Chardonnay. And then I realized that you have to make your own Chardonnay, which is recognizable, which is different from all the others. And that is the great thing about wine, that if you bring the terroir, the climate and the soil into your wines, you will actually be able to identify where it's from. With these two grape varieties, we make 3 white wines from the Chardonnay, 1 red wine from the Pinot Noir, 2 sparkling white from the Chardonnay, 1 sparkling rosé, which is a combination of the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir. And then we have our own distillery where we make our aquavite, our levenswater, which is also from the Chardonnay grape. For us, it was the best decision my parents made for their family. First of all, we grow up here together. My parents, their grandchildren were 3 generations here in the house. So for a family, I think it was a great choice. I can combine my private life with work very well. I make something I'm proud of. It's really a nice atmosphere to work in, a nice atmosphere to live in as a family, as a village. It couldn't be any better. I'm very happy here.